subscribing. We appreciate your support. Today we're gonna be talking to an real estate agent, and today's topic is gonna be real estate, starting a real estate in London. So today we have an agent that's gonna educate us about how to start a real estate in London. But before that, you can make sure you subscribe. You know what we do at Marvel Point of View show is to bring education about different topics that matters that we need to know. Marvel Point of View is watch across Europe, North America, South America, including Europe and Asia continent. Thanks for supporting, thanks for sharing, thanks for liking, thanks for commenting, and we appreciate all your support for our previous episode 5 live show. Right here, we're gonna be having Mr. Bankole Ibitoye from England. From London, he's gonna be the one to educate us about real estate, starting a real estate in London. So if you have any questions about us starting a real estate in London, you can join this show now. If you're watching live, maybe after this live, you can also watch it. You can also share with people about it. But when we're joining the live right now, based on when we're gonna be having questions with him right here, you can join us live on Zoom to ask him any question about starting a real estate in London. The Zoom code is 6938450306. Today we're gonna be having Mr. Bankole Ibitoye. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good.
Yes, sir.
Are you?
Yes, sir. Can you introduce yourself to Marvel Point of View? I'm good, sir. Can you introduce yourself to Marvel Point of View subscribers?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Bankole Ibitoye. I'm calling from, I'm speaking to you from London. Basically, not actually London now. We say outside London, but all the same, really. So, yeah, I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah, that's good, sir. So I have some couple questions for you today to educate our viewers about starting a real estate in London. And one of my first question is going to be, what are the most important legal requirements and regulations one must complete with when starting a real estate business in London?
Yeah, to be honest with you, in the real estate industry, because I believe that in US they normally say real estate. Well, so you're back in UK. It takes a lot of legal requirements. To be honest with you, there are some important legal requirements and regulations. One person, whoever is trying to go into the business must comply with when starting a real estate business in UK. If you want to start a real estate, it's kind of a much of a easier, I would say, but everything based on whether you have the means to start the business. Number one, you have to go have what they call certification and qualification to do that, and then also, you have to do a lot of research. Make sure that you have the budgets, and make sure you create a business plan. And then again, you have to register the business. So you have to come up with a business plan. A business plan is a necessity when starting up a new business. And whenever it's an estate, you wanted to go into either estate agency or something completely different, you still have to, whether you want to go into commercial or residential, you have to have a means. And then, again, all based on whether you have the money to start the business. So one of the objectives and aims of it is that, if you want to, let me give you an example. You can start in the property business with having, whether you have the cash, whether you rely on your lenders to start the business. Number one, you must have as your first property, probably you must have either 10% or you have 20%. It depends on the how much you want to put into the portfolio for that business.
You mean for like down payment?
What do you say?
For like down payment for the first property.
Well, yeah, well, let me give you an example because it's totally different from in UK,
in US
compared to American. As a single person, I don't know how much you will have as much as probably 30,000 pounds or 50,000 pounds to start in the first place, whether you wanted to go into commercial or whether you want to go into a residential. So it's of two types. So let me give you an example because I believe that some people will be wondering that we're going to real estate business is just based on higher cash. Whether you have to have a lot of money to start the business. So you can go into real estate as much as you have like a 25% of the value of the property. So it's not depends on for instance, when you have a property over 300,000 pounds, and then to start the business, you can have what they call you must have a 25%, 10 to 25%. It depends on your age, and it depends on the how much you go. Let's say you got 10,000 pounds, the property worth of 300,000 pounds. That means you have 30,000 pounds. That means you are buying your first house, and from first house, whether you buy a house, you have a 10%, which is 30,000 pounds. Then you can be assisted by the lenders by borrowing you the 75% of value of the property. You must have 25%. And the lenders will have to borrow you 75%.
Thank you for that. The second question is going to be, can you share some of effective strategy for finding and securing profitable properties in London? Okay.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, due to the economy right now, I would say now is still a good time to buy a property in London or anywhere in UK. It's a good investment, very lucrative, stable, with a strong chance of capital appreciation when you invest to make a large return and build wealth from here in UK or any other places. It's a good investment. You can never go wrong. You can't never go wrong when you lay your hands on the property investment, because it depends on it's range from whether it's a residential or commercial. You must as much as got your profit. Let me give you an example. You buy a commercial building for £400,000, and then your return after you let it out, you let the property out to a company, or you let it out for residential purpose, at least you'll be getting as much as a rent of £2,000 every month. But it now depends on whether you pay cash for the property, or you own the whole money for that property. You invested in it. So as much as when you pay the lenders back, you used to be getting about 1,800. 1,000 for £1,450 back every month. On a property, obviously you bought for probably 350 or 400,000 pounds.
Wow.
For every month after tax.
Yeah. So what's the interest rate?
Go on.
Averagely, what's the interest rate right now?
It's 4.75%.
Well, better than US. US is like between 6 to 7%.
Yeah. But you just have to. I know that you are. I would say there's more of a big opportunity than in US in terms of the price flowing. But back in UK, where we are at the moment, it depends on how much you have to invest. I would say, yeah, that's fine. It's better than US. But one thing about it is that it now depends whether the location where you actually buy the property. So it depends on the location sometimes. But the percentage is 4.75 back of England rate.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That will lead me to my third question, which is how does the current economic climate in London affect the real estate market, and what should new entrepreneur be aware of?
You see, it's always a risk. If you want to go into property market, it's always a risk, to be honest with you, because every business is worth of risk taking. Because if you want to make it, if you want to be successful in that business, you have to take a risk, whether you lose a lot of money. I will give you an example. There was a period that somebody I know wanted to buy a property. He's got this money and he doesn't want to spend the money on something else. So he prepared himself very well for the worst of it. So he bought that property, and the way he bought that property, it seems to be a place where there wasn't any. I think the standard of living around that place is very low. So, and then he bought that property, and at the end of the day, for the first year, he lost a lot of money.
Wow.
And when it was his second year, things turned around because of the demands. That was when the UK was securing a business, international business, welcoming other people from other countries to come and invest in the UK. So the larger part of it is that the area where he invested the money into, a lot of people are coming to that area. So he started making a lot of money that he has lost in the past. So the state of economy, I would say, the state of the economy plays a significant role in the land, in the UK real estate market. Economic indicators such as GDP growth, inflation can rate, and interest rate can have an impact on the property price as well. During the period of economic growth, there is usually an increase in demand for properties, leading to the rising prices. So sometimes it's low, sometimes it's gone high. But the bottom line is that the property business is more of it's like it's better than trading on the stock market, because you put a certain money in despite the fact that there's gonna be a highest interest rate, or whether it's the lowest interest rate that usually have an impact on the businesses. But at the end of the day, the long run of it is that when you invested in that property, no matter how the spillage or any issues, you're still gonna, you still don't get. You still have to. You will get your return back at any time in the future, because looking at the equity, you still got equity on the property after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, because the property you buy like 300,000 when things go down, and there are some points when things rise up. Then another 3-4 years, you've actually gained about 20% of that property. So it's worthwhile investing in property, because, like I said earlier, it's a risk taking. Because if you can't take risks, there's no way you're gonna have it. You're gonna make. Well, I would say, don't. I'm sorry for the viewers. There's no way you can make it. I would say that, because you have to every steps in life as a risk assessment, and you have to take a risk before you can even see the front. And again, population density, like income and GVA, are the most significant factors that affect house price fluctuations in UK, which indicates that the population and income are important points called to constrain housing increase, to be honest with you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. 1 second, sir. Yeah, we've been talking to Mr. Bankole Ibitoye. He's an agent in London and he has been educating us about real estate in London and how to start a real estate in London City. If you have any question for him before our agent goes today, we can join us on Zoom live right here on at 693-845-0306. If you have any question for him, you can join us on Zoom at 693-845-0306. 693-845-0306. My data might be also be putting it on the live chat right now. You can also have an access to the link. But one more time, 693-845-0306. You can have access to talk to him right here live at Marvel Point of View when he's joining us virtually from London. That will lead me to my last set of questions. 1 second. Sorry about the technology messed up. So that will lead me to my second to the last question, which is going to be, what are some common mistakes new real estate business owner makes in London, and how can they be avoided?
I think it's not only UK. I think it's the questions meant for everywhere, because as a property investors, there are so many common mistakes you can encounter in terms of when you're trying to making money. Basically, there's a lot of mistakes that the first time, I would say first time buyer, they always face that kind of a mistakes. And then like we say, lack of preparation and research. Because if you want to go into the business, you need to prepare yourself. You need to ensure that you have a good credit. You need to ensure that you have a good credit. You need to ensure that the business you are going to how much is it gonna make you in the next year or 2 years. And again, you have to complete your research. So, like I say, it's one of the biggest mistakes that we can make is failing to research the local property market. Client value expertise and advice from experts in the field. So it is very crucial to take the time to learn more about local markets, condition and trends. So it's always good to make to do some research before you go into the property. Another thing is that weak communication skills as well. You need, as a real investors, as you are going to a real investors, communication and forming relations are in the art of real estate. Whether this consists of connecting with clients and mortgage brokers, lawyers, or other professionals, real estate agents meet and interact with various people. You need to speak out. You need to find information, genuine information, as to what is going on, what other people has made in that business. What is there for you? Is there any? Is it reputable? Is it gonna make reputable income or reliable income? You can go into the real estate to become an investor. Again, failing to be a strong network, again, can cause a lot of disruption in the business as well. Because if you don't know anything, how could you say you want to move? If you don't crawl, you can't start up and walk. But you need to get, you need to know the right people. It's very, very vital. Like now, social media has made it easy for everyone. There's a lot of property investors, realtor, they're on social media. They were trying to help people who obviously hasn't know how to make money around property investors. They were, day and night, they will, showcase their businesses, showcase what profit they can make, showcase how they can make life better, rather than do a job of 9 to 5. When you're working 9 to 5, and there are some other things that can ensue you to make a lot of money. So not many people know. So you need to build a strong network, have the right connections, people who can show you the way, and then you can follow them. So yeah, that's one of the things. And the last point is a poor time management. Poor time management skills can have a disastrous consequences for real estate agents and their businesses. In a fast pace, to be honest with you, in a fast paced and demanding industry, agents must balance the needs of their clients, property and transaction, while keeping their businesses operation running smoothly. So poor time management can have a detrimental effect on the business as well. So you need to ensure that time management is okay. Let me give you an example. There was a particular time I bought a property, and they were selling that property for 130,000. And I think, oh my God, the location where the property is not a good location. Should I go into that business? Should I buy that property? Should I not? So at the end of the day, I made up my mind. And because obviously I don't want to sink myself in a poor time management, because I knew that anything good could happen within a year or 2 years. So I sat down and think about it. So I bought that property. But in another 2 years, that property appreciate. And it's selling for £220,000. So it's very important when you move on with, like I said, you move on with people who is going to show you the way. And then, most especially, don't waste your time with just thinking and procrastinating without doing anything. So it's very important for you to ensure that you made up your mind.
Thank you.
Does that answer your questions?
Yeah, you've even answered my third question, which was my question I was planning to ask you was, how important is networking in London real estate market, and what activities building a strong networking? And based on what you said right now, it's time management, which I would also tell people, if you are doing any marketing business, the best time is you have to have a time management, you have to have a good referral, and you have to be reliable. When you are reliable with the last customer, with the last family you help to purchase the property, they will be able to refer you to the next person. And when you're reliable, time management is what matters. Even though you are doing 9 to 5, time management matters. If you are reliable about it, you will be able to get more referrals. Don't forget, negative stuff sell faster than positive stuff. Yes, sir.
Exactly. It's about, another thing is about building your credits, because majority of people who are going to property business, they don't have money, but the lenders, the banks are there to actually help you to support you in achieving your goals, buying the property. But you have to build everything on your income, because if you want to start a property business, you must have a certain income. The money that comes, the flow coming to your account, your salary, Anna. If you want to buy a property of 300,000 or 400,000 pounds, you must have a reputable income. You must have probably earning about, in a year, maybe probably you're earning about 50,000 to 60,000 pounds annually, or 70,000 pounds annually. And then you have a steady income of maybe probably 2,500 pounds or 2,000 pounds, 2,500 pounds every month. And with that income, the lender wanted to know that you won't be a liability, because this is it's going to be like a financial viability. So you don't become a liability. So you have to have a good credit as well. Otherwise, maybe probably you're a millionaire, you have 300,000 cash to buy a property cash, or you have without the help of the lenders, you can buy out of £300,000 and say, okay, yeah, I bought the house of £300,000. I don't even need any. So you buy it upfront. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it seems for building a strong network. You still go back to what I've said earlier. What you say is that a strong network. Take advantages of social media, because there is a lot of real estate on the social media explaining, advertising pays. They were trying to tell people that this is what they were doing, this is how you can make money. So you yourself, you can have a mentor. You understand what I'm saying? You can have a mentor. If you haven't been to any businesses, you need somebody to guide you. You need somebody to show you the way. You need somebody to put you through.
True.
So all these things is very important.
Yeah. So to purchase a property in London, who is more easier for? Is it those that work regular job 9 to 5, or those that have side hustle? What I mean by side hustle is those that have businesses like African stores, Nigerian stores, those mechanic. They are not really on the government. So I don't know how to explain.
You mean a self-employed?
Yeah, self-employed. Thank you. Self-employed. Is it self-employed or someone that's employed who is likely to be able to secure a loan from a realtor?
I mean, the system in America is totally different from system here as well. Because when I was in America last year, I asked a lot of questions about how you can sustain yourself, how you can expand your business. If you're a UK citizen, how would you able to expand your business in America? Even Nigeria. Nigeria now, they were commonly doing a mortgage as well, mortgage system. They were using a mortgage system that has been existing in South Africa, is in the existing part of Africa. So going back to your questions, if you are earning doing a 9 to 5 job, you have to have a good income to be able to because when you are having a good income, you rely on the lender. Lenders, because you don't have the cash to buy a house outright. Buy a house outright, you make cash to purchase the property. So we're coming in from their businesses. Because they still rely on the lenders to be able to buy a property. Like I said, unless you have already built a multi-millions portfolio, you build a £7 million portfolio, £7 million or $7 million portfolio, then you can buy a house. You buy a house, there's something they call a flip top. You buy a house from the auction, you get it done and you sell it, and you get your profit straight away. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
so those who have been in the business, they go to auctions to buy a property. But as far we, let me say that we are doing we're still doing 9 to 5, and we have other businesses as well. We have other businesses that enhance our income, that make us to So we rely on the lenders to borrow us money, but we have to show that we have what it takes to actually to jump into the business, into that property business. So what we need and what we have. And for instance, let me tell you something. If you are a landlord and you're willing to buy another property in UK, I don't know whether in US, maybe it's the same thing, you have to have a 25% deposit. So that means you're a landlord already, and you want to buy another property, you have to have a 25%. Because the lenders will borrow you 75% the value of the property, and then you can provide the 25% of it. So you have to have 25%.
Wow.
That is more money, as in deposit, for a deposit.
I think that in United States it's not like that. I think it's between 5 to 6, 7. I don't think it's even up to 10%. That's a lot in London.
For for second buyer.
Oh, for second buyers, that I don't know about that. I need to make a deep research about it. I'm talking about the
Because I
first
believe
buyer.
that UK, as a first-time buyer, they will ask you to put 10% or 15% deposit down before the lenders can borrow you the rest of the money. You know, and that's the first-time buyer.
Okay.
And then if you're a landlord, that means you're buying a second house, or you're buying a third house, or you're buying a fourth house, or you're buying the fifth house, you buy six. All those ones, subsequent one has to be 25% each on all of them, on each of them.
Wow.
So that means you need into real estate, but people think it's gonna be a long process, or it's gonna be, oh my God, 5 years for me to build this portfolio. No, you can achieve that within 4 years. You can achieve buying about 4 property, because one property you bought today will enable you, because you get equity every 2 to 3 years. The equity, the house appreciates. You got equity on the property. You can take that money out, add it with added it with another savings investment you have, and then you can use that money and buy another property.
Makes sense.
And then similarly in Nigeria, that's what we're doing right now as well. Nigeria, they were going to mortgage system as well. So you have to show, higher income if you want to actually have a property of you wanted to buy, and it's gonna be 25 years. Okay, sorry, there's something I was missing. I didn't mention. In terms of when you are a landlord, it's either you buy a property cash, like I said, outright, or you go into what they call interest. There's a interest rate only, and then there's a repayment. Interest rate is when you just bought the property for 200,000. When you are paying that mortgage rent, the money doesn't increase; it stays as it is. You cannot have that property for 10 years; it will still be 200,000. But the interest rate, you are paying the interest rate on that property, and whatever, and that means when you are paying interest rate, you are not repaying the capital. I mean the money on it. You are not paying the mortgage, but you are renting it out. You are getting you are paying the small rent to the lenders, while you're getting a good money from the property, whether you rent it out, or you use it as a short let, or you use it as a Airbnb. It's not a capital gain; it's interest only.
Makes sense. I think a lot of Marvel Point of View subscribers have learned a lot from you right now. Is there any last comment you want to make to Marvel Point of View for support or subscription from anybody in London, or last statement from you, sir?
I think we all living in a world of technology now, where everyone's come onto the platform. Because many people doesn't know. There are so many people in both the US and UK does not know they're still living in a rented apartment.
Definitely.
And they don't believe that they can have their own property. They believe it's very difficult to climb the mountain. It's very difficult to build a property, to build up a property portfolio for them to be able to earn more and live a better life. But there is nothing that can stop you. Once you have a determination and you have a God behind you, and then everything is possible. Everything is possible. God, and you have that determination, everything is possible. So my advice to people who are still living in an apartment, or 2-bedroom flat, or 3-bedroom flat, or they were living in some sort of accommodation, which obviously the property is not theirs, they need to move forward. They need to leave their comfort zone and move forward. Like I said, it's all come back to the risk. You need to take a risk before you can make it in life. Otherwise, we'll still be sitting there in one place, procrastinating, seeing other people moving on.
Yeah, because people feel like when they get a property, they are being stuck. Then even though it's a fixed monthly payment, but they feel like apartments they can move from one location to another. They want the flexibility, but won't really makes them
Yeah,
build any portfolio. They are just working for the landlord. But most people don't know
they're
that.
just they're just working for the landlord because the landlord will be making money. They are helping the landlord to make the payment towards his rent or towards their rent, and then again, the landlord is making money. He will never pray. He or she will never pray for them to actually think about them having their own property, because a lot of us go home and invest our money back home. And I would say it's a complete. I would say so, I won't say a fool, because if you have been I always say that if you want to go into investment, don't go to that, because this is where you live. You live in the Western world. You live in America. You live in UK. You live in Spain. You live in Europe. Let me say, and then you have to start your business from here, because this is what you are. If you go to Nigeria and you invested in a property, how much are they going to pay you on a monthly income in Nigeria? The money you earn here in a month is the money you earn here in a month is the money that you will earn in Nigeria in 5 years in
Definitely.
some of the locations in Nigeria. So it's very much better for you to invest your property. You can invest it here and go to Nigeria and relax and start getting the returns from here. So like I said, you need to think. You need to do a lot of research. Don't just go and build a property in Nigeria, build a property portfolio, and you're not there. And the tenants in Nigeria, they only pay for the first year, and then the second year they can say they lost their job or they don't have the money. So what will you do? So there's nothing coming out from that. So you need to think twice, and it's very important. You need to think twice. So that's my advice. You need to think about where you're living. Your business here, everything's here is legal. The legality is so strong in comparing to where we come from.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Nigeria is not good for investing, but you need to be there. Whatever business you're gonna do in Nigeria, you need to be there.
So basically, invest in a location whereby you are physical in. Invest in a country whereby you are physical in.
Exactly, and then in a place that can offer you more. I know Nigeria is the largest company where you can, if you take anything you take there, it sells.
Definitely, but you have to monitor it.
It sells because of the the population. Don't get me wrong, but it depends on the businesses. Let me say, it depends on the businesses. It depends on the income you are expecting. What sort of incomes? And this is what I'm saying. This all go back to the research. You need to do your research properly to be able to know what sort of businesses you wanted to go into. Otherwise, you don't want to fall short, and that is not good for any businesses.
Thank you so much, sir. So can you ever,
You're welcome.
support, encourage people to support Marvel Point of View, subscribe, and make your last statement, sir, for the support of Marvel Point of View show.
I think the Point of View shows give you more insights into what is going on in the community. It's giving you more insight into what sort of education you want to go into, what businesses you want to, you have to have a point of view, in businesses, in whatever situation you want to do. You want to go into the marriages, want to, buy a car, you have to have a point of views. And this platform, this program will showcase what you need to do to be able to take the next steps. You have to take that steps, and that is why you have to stay on and watch your point of views.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate you for joining us right here. I appreciate you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. I believe that at this time, many people has been sleeping in Nigeria, and then UK as well. I think that's the reason why we couldn't see many people on the platform. They probably be seeing this later on, and they would wanted to ask more questions. I'm more than happy to come back on the platform to actually speak to to the peoples to actually advise them on what to do next if you want to buy your first home or if you want to go into property investment. So that is the reason why we need a point of views, and that is why I'm here to actually give some sort of advice. And there is a lot of advice on the YouTube, day in day out of YouTube, as well as the TikTok, as well as other places as well. So I would advise you to keep watching the point of views, or keep listening, and that would actually give you a better way for your future.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you for showing up on our program today. Thank you. That's Mr.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. That is Mr. Bankole Ibitoye. He's an real estate agent and is a landlord in London. He's joining us to educate us about the importance of real estate and how to start real estate in London and what you need to know and what are the pros and cons of starting a real estate in London. If you have any question for him, you can also comment on this show, and you can reach us at Marvel Point of View on TikTok, Marvel Point of View on Instagram, at Marvel Point of View on X, or you can also reach out to me as the host personally on Marvel ADIGUN on Instagram, Marvel ADIGUN on X, and you can reach out to me at Marvel_ADIGUN on Snapchat. You can reach out to us, text us directly to have any question on Marvel Point of View or Marvel ADIGUN. Any of the two will answer you like he promised us. If you have any question and it's so important to verify or clear about it, he is likely to come on show again to come to us to educate us. And he's into a lot of stuff. He's likely to come back to give different topic about it. But thanks for supporting Marvel Point of View episode 5. Thanks for always supporting us. Thanks for always watching us. Either you're watching us live right now or you're still gonna watch us the episode later on. Your support is really, don't mind the technology tonight. Your support is really important to us for subscribing. But guess what? Only you cannot be right here. Only you cannot just be watching us. You have to be able to share the point of view. Like I said, point of view matters. So you have to share the link, share this page, let people comment about it, let people share them, and let people subscribe. Your subscription is what is going to keep us encouraging us on this. My manager and my editors, we are really working so hard to bring the best topics and best people that can educate you about Marvel Point of View. If you have any questions about it, please, you know the best place to go to. Marvel Point of View will always be with you. I'm Marvel ADIGUN. I'm the host. Bye for now.